Hi, everybody. I'm David Asman. Well, Hong Kong security stockbrokers protesting the trimming of their lunch break. You're not going to believe this. They're going from an hour and a half for lunch to just an hour. Just an hour. They're actually marching on their own stock exchange. Now, can you imagine the backlash of American traders? Really don't get any lunch break, did this. Joining us now is longtime Wall Streeter Tom Belesis. He's CEO of John Thomas Financial. Tom, when was the last time you took a lunch break at all?
We don't take lunch. We eat at our desks. So, I mean, this story actually is very amusing. I'd rather talk about this than talk about, perhaps Europe collapsing or, Iran wanting to close down the Strait of Hormuz. The one thing I can tell you, though, now is that, these traders, I got two words of advice for these traders in Hong Kong who are protesting again on the fact of cutting their lunch hour.
An hour and a half down to an hour.
Grow up.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say, because they have to accept the fact.
By the way, the excuse for which they're given is they're having stomach troubles, and they can't continue to concentrate on their work because an hour alone doesn't give them a chance to digest their food.
I read that, and they have to accept the fact now that we live in a global market. And as Oliver Stone once said, money never sleeps.
Wait a minute, you're quoting Oliver Stone to protect capitalism? The world has gone nuts today. All right, bottom line, though, what does this tell you about the way they do business over there?
I think it's ridiculous because, look at the U.S., for instance, okay? We have some of the hardest working traders here. They work around the clock. They work on the weekends. They don't leave their desks. So, for them to cut their lunch hour and for them to protest against it, it's just...
But we're told that beware the danger from the Far East, that China is going to be taken over now that they essentially own Hong Kong. That's going to be the pointy edge of the spear from which they're going to take over the financial industry in the West. Are we facing a paper tiger here? Is this worry for nothing?
It is worry for nothing. I think it's mostly propaganda with what's going on out there. And I think ultimately they have to realize that the only thing that's going to get them to do better is by working extra, working harder. And that's exactly what's got our country to where it is today. Capitalism and the free markets is you get there by working hard.
But there is no doubt, is there not, that Hong Kong has some extraordinary traders. I mean, Hong Kong has a tremendous reputation. Certainly, some people would say more so before the Chinese communists took them over. But even now, they're known as great traders. Is that just totally misplaced?
I think it is. And you know what? There's one place.
So why don't we take them over? I mean, why don't we take over some of those companies? I don't mean literally take over. We got enough on our plate.
Well, we have some of those traders here in the U.S., and they work extremely hard because they learn from our culture. That's what it's all about. It's our culture here that represents what we're all about. And I think that them protesting about their lunch hours getting cut, sends a bad signal to the rest of the world and especially their country.
Now, so what's going to happen with regard to this battle, this major battle that's taking place between a lot of these financial companies over in the East and our financial companies? Again, there are some people out there that are very afraid of that think that the East is going to take over the West in terms of financial. We are loaded down with so many financial regulations right now because of Dodd-Frank and the regulations preceded it that they don't have to deal with. Is that a possibility, that despite their lack of work ethic that we have, they have so many fewer regulations that they might actually be able to take over?
No, David, these are all great points, but I think, by the end of this year, those regulations that we have here in the U.S. are going to loosen up because we're going to have a new president in the White House.
You think so? That's not a definite thing, is it? That's not a given.
We're very confident. And again, as I've been telling you...
Are you betting on that, by the way?
I am betting on that.
Wow.
Because I do believe Romney will win.
But, I mean, you are actually allocating your own capital based on the fact that you think that Obama will not be the next president.
Absolutely.
Right now you're doing that. You're not just waiting until it happens.
We are preparing now.
Very interesting stuff. Yeah. Tom Belesis, good to see you, my friend.
David.
Thank you very much. Well, he is creating